I accept this channel has become a benchmark for projectors, and that's why many brands write to me to introduce their new products. On this occasion, TouYinger wants us to know about its new budget projector, the ET32. And indeed, it's affordable, costing less than $150. And for that price, it offers a satisfying experience, according to TouYinger. But today we're going to find out if that's true. Stay tuned for the video and rate this new projector with me, and let's see if it's really worth it. Let's watch the video. This is one of the new projectors from TouYinger, the ET32 model, whose complete specifications are included on one side of the packaging. Upon opening the box, we see that it is completely surrounded by foam, and the accessories include an analog input cable, an infrared remote control, an HDMI cable, a power cable, and a small plug adapter. And finally, there is the projector itself with a short getting started guide. The ET32 is a cost-effective LCD projector launched by TouYinger for the mass market, a mid-range projector, and I've heard very good reviews about it. The first thing I notice is the oval shape of this projector, highlighting the brand name at the top. This shape makes it very comfortable to hold. On the front, it features an autofocus camera, an infrared sensor, and a lens with a protective plastic cover to prevent scratches. Ventilation slots are located on both sides, and on the back are the connections: a power socket, a headphone jack, an analog audio and video output, two HDMI inputs, two USB 2.0 inputs, and the rear infrared receiver. Additionally, on the top, it features several physical control buttons in case you lose the remote control, and on the back, it has 4 rubber feet and a height adjustment screw. It also has this small compartment which houses an interchangeable air filter. These are all common features in projectors in this price range, although for me, what stands out the most is its practical and portable design. The TouYinger ET32 is a cost-effective LCD projector designed to bring entertainment into your home without breaking the bank. It costs just under $150 on AliExpress, which is a good price, although some of its features, such as brightness, seem inflated. It integrates a MediaTek processor with 2 GB of RAM and 32 GB of storage, which is typical for a projector in this price range and is sufficient hardware for it to work well. It integrates Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and basic but functional automatic correction systems, and its design is portable and very easy to transport. Its specifications aren't the best, but they're not the worst either. I'd say they're realistic. For me, for the price, it's very good and fulfilling. But first, let me tell you that GamsGo has returned, revamped, and is the best platform where you can find profiles much cheaper, whether they're for work, music, anime, English, or your favorite streaming and video platforms. And thanks also to TV Club, the new platform sister to GamsGo but focused on other services for all channels worldwide. Scan this QR code or enter from the link in the description for secure access. Choose your service and try it out. Oh, and don't forget to include my discount coupon, JAVIX. I'm already using it on my TV, my computer, and my phone, and it's working great. This new projector from TouYinger is light, which is an advantage. To carry it comfortably, it integrates Android, but it is not certified. And that also implies that it requires almost no configuration, and as you can see, it also has autofocus. I started by projecting a screen of just over 100 inches, and at first glance it seems to me that it is a decent projection. From a cheap projector, as I mentioned, this is an uncertified Android interface, and for the price of this projector, I didn't expect more, but in its defense I can say that at least it is fluid and also has the option to convert this projector into a Bluetooth speaker. It integrates several applications already installed by default, and has quick access to viewing and reading files either from the projector or from a USB drive, and also allows you to select input sources. If we go into the settings, we see this organization widely used in many non-certified projectors, from where we can connect to a Wi-Fi network or pair devices via Bluetooth. It also integrates several projector-specific settings, such as electronic zoom and 4-point manual correction, among other basic configurations. As for image projection, they're not bad. It's a small, inexpensive, and portable projector that projects quite good images. Note that these are raw images, meaning they were recorded directly from my camera without editing or altering their colors or properties so as not to skew the results. I would put it within the range of average projectors, meaning it projects better quality than the HY350, but less so than a Wambo X5 Pro, obviously due to the price difference. But It's not like the brand says that it has 1500 ANSI lumens, so we should take that data that brands usually provide with a grain of salt. Based on my experience with projectors, it seems to me that it delivers about 900 or 800 real ANSI lumens, which is not bad for a $150 projector because as you can see, it looks pretty good. By projecting directly onto a 110-inch widescreen, you can get an idea of the brightness of this projector. As you can see, although it has some slight dark bands on the sides, it's still a pretty decent brightness. Another aspect to measure is light leakage, and this is achieved by projecting onto a black screen. No light should be projected. I really like this because it achieved a true black, unlike other projectors, which stain the projection with light leakage as seen in this photo. As for the colors, it displays very good color tones, in some cases with a uniform color, but in other cases with a bright circle of light in the center. But in general, I would say that the colors fulfill the projection very well, and the transition between colors is fast, homogeneous, and is done quite well. Now, a cheap projector can deliver good quality images like this from a YouTube video in 4K, but it's hard to find a cheap projector that detects and decodes 4K, and this ET32 doesn't. If you don't notice, when I go into the YouTube settings and then select quality, I can't find the original video resolution, which is 2160p or 4K. At most, it only shows me 1080p or Full HD, which isn't bad. And I'm not complaining because I know what I paid. Of course, this is completely normal for a mid-price projector, and it doesn't happen with all projectors. Other more complete and therefore more expensive projectors, even if they only support Full HD, would easily detect and decode 4K, which is why they cost what they do. Although I can't say that these Full HD images aren't good, they are very good and are typical of a projector in this price range that doesn't detect 4K. Guys, the gap between the image quality of different projectors isn't that great, and that's because building a projector is no longer a mystery. Many brands already know how to do it, and most of them are doing it well. The real difference lies in the details like 4K detection, HDR management, consistent focus, and processing speed, which are the factors that truly differentiate brands from one another. Any projector doesn't show me anything if I don't project it at the maximum that my screen allows, which is 150 inches, since a large projection will reduce the brightness of the projector, and the idea is to push it to see if it continues to provide a good viewing experience, and for that reason, I took the ET32 to 150 inches and framed it correctly with the 4-point correction function. And as you can see, the brightness is lowered, but not that much. I've projected other projectors at 150 inches and they've done very well, but this one isn't far behind either. The brightness dropped just a little, but it remains even, and the throw is also a bit long because I had to carry it about 4.5 meters away to be able to project 150 inches. Something very positive is that despite the screen size, it doesn't blur much in the corners, and that's why I took these photos, which show a lot of letters, to compare the center focus versus the corner blur. And while there is a slight blur which is present in all projectors, this one isn't as gross as in the much cheaper models. The bigger a projection is, the more it loses resolution, obviously, because the size of the pixels increases, and a good way to demonstrate this is by projecting text. But this small projector does its job, and I think it does it well. I'm not saying that it's useful for teaching classes, but the text is very readable, and if you teach classes at night or in a place with dark curtains, it could serve you quite well. Even if I turn on some light in my living room, it also allows you to see a projection reasonably well. Here with a giant screen, I can take advantage of testing its HDMI inputs with an Amazon Fire Stick, and I can confirm that the ports work quite well, and with a projector of this type, it is much more advisable to use an external device because the processors of mid-range projectors are not that fast either, while the one in this Fire Stick 4 Max is many times superior, and best of all, it is a certified device with all the advantages that this entails. By properly calibrating this TouYinger ET32 projector and searching for well-recorded content, this small projector could surprise us with images like these at 150 inches, creating a home theater on a very small budget. Although I know perfectly well that this projector is not suitable for daytime use or for use with too much ambient light, we are still going to push it a bit harder. But we will of course use a reflective gray fabric because without it we will hardly be able to see anything. And as you can see, there's nothing to complain about, my friends. It's $150 and projected during the day on a gray screen which doesn't do so badly. And as I've said in other videos, this screen isn't special. It's one of the cheapest ones, but it does its job. Unfortunately, you can only see well from the front because if you move sideways, the viewing angle will get worse and worse. There are other Fresnel screens that improve this viewing angle, but they're obviously much more expensive. Finally, in case you're wondering if you can use it with a game console, well, actually any projector can be used with a game console. It all depends on its input lag, and that's what I intend to measure with this special little device. And as you can see, the input lag is about 65 milliseconds on average. Certainly not great, but the best I've seen on projectors is 45 milliseconds, and this one isn't too far off, so it'll do for occasional gaming. This is a pretty average projector, but don't forget it's for dark environments, and here you can have a good cinema for only $150. The review is done and the tests too, and I conclude that it's not a bad projector for what it costs. It will be up to each person to analyze whether they want to give it a chance, based on what they saw today. But ultimately, it's good that more models are coming out so people can choose. While this projector isn't premium, it meets all the requirements for an average home. Thanks for making it to the end, and I send you a big hug. Help me, and let's democratize technology. See you in the next video.